Niweke saundi hapa. Tuanze basi.
A very good morning, a very good evening, a very good afternoon from wherever you're watching us from. It's another amazing day. I just want to say a very big thank you to all our subscribers who have been supporting us up to this time, right? And if you haven't subscribed, guys, it's never too late. We always have time for everybody, and this is the time. Just press the subscribe button. And yes, again, guys, you know what? You can just become a member of Kazuri Media by joining. Click that join button on the screen, and you will get the instructions on how to become a member of Kazuri Media. So, guys, when you see this site, you know it's what it's all about on their podcast, yeah? And it's your girl Kazuri Amok, it's okay, Kazuri Media, the number one online videos and that. Sindio? Okay, guys, on their podcast, you know how we do it. It's all about Ongea. Tunazungumza, no filter, no chills, no nothing. See you. If you ever see this guy around.
Okay, all right. Introduction. I go by the name Injo Raj, aka Red Fatila, aka Papaya, aka Fatah Brown, aka Half Budget, aka Celibate King, aka Faithful Woman, aka South Yakina Mama.
Oh yeah, wa mama, you guy. Mama oye.
Mama oye, so yo. So join me fika.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jana ulikuwa umesahau kama wewe ni Father Abraham.
Jana sahau.
Okay, it's amazing.
So zingine sahau kama niko na watoto bwana. Na kwa kubaya.
Okay, so guys, yeah, it's all about Ongea podcast, Sindio. And today we always have guests on set. We have an amazing guest who's been doing amazing stuff. Guys, if you don't know Daktari, if you don't know this guy, sijui unakwanga tu kwenye mtandao, Sindio. Amazing DJ Lenium, daktari wa muziki. Unatutibu, unatudunga masindano kama ni drip.
Yangu ni sindano. Drip inaenda pole, sindano ni instant.
Instant? Unajua kuna dawa ya baluna basi. Wewe unakwanga available when the sindano instant from birth.
DJ Lenium, aka Daktari wa Mziki. End of story. Yes.
Short
and simple.
Tuanze bwana. Lenium. Tell us about yourself, bas. Kabla tuje kwa maswali.
What do you want to know? Because about myself is vast, ni kubwa.
By the way, unajua kuna interview Lenda Malenda kafanya. Hiyo interview kwenda tuka kama season.
Ilikuwa series.
Boss. Aishi. Kila akikuja na mpya. Kila akikuja na 3 hours. Jamaa story sijui ilikuwa
maanisha yeye ni wa kuongea ya?
Ana story sijui ya kwanza high school akakuja Kibanza.
Kwa kwanza na nursery.
Hapo
chekechea. But anyway, amazing. We know you're doing an amazing job. And we've seen you like I can say you're versatile, right? Unaona kwenye sehemu nyingi sana. Ulianzia wapi? Yaani unarukaruka kwenye sanaa hapa. But ulianzia wapi hasa? Kwa mwenye labda amekuona kwenye filamu, amekuona kwenye huku haizi jua ulianzia wapi? Utakwambia ulianzia wapi?
So before I go to Mali Nilianzia, it's best maybe someone is watching, maybe they just know one side of me. So DJ Lenium is a DJ, as the name suggests. I'm an MC. I've been an MC since 2009. I'm an actor. I've acted in several places, but key places, I would say I've done 3 movies and been in about 8 TV series. Yeah. So those are the ones I can mention because they have been either on main sets, including Citizen TV or Maisha Magic. Yes, so those I can mention. So apart from that, yes, so DJ, MC, actor, I'm also an online influencer and I'm a digital marketer. I've done several brand endorsements. I think currently my brand endorsements that has lasted I think about 8 years is I'm the brand ambassador for Nyani Cinemas. Yeah. So zingine sasa in between here and there, event organizing. I'm a teacher by the way. I teach branding and event management in the Buhora community. So, vitu more. When did how or when did I start? I think the passion for doing all these things in the high school. 2002. 2000. Yes, Alidina Visram High School. Yes. D by the no, when you put bro, when I was in high school, we didn't even have a school bus. It was that serious.
It was that serious. Guys, man, you
school bus inakuja juzi.
Ngoja high school inaitwaje? Before itwaje high school yako itwaje? So let me tell you. Lenium was a thing. Sio unanielewa? Yani vijana wameng'ara wanaka angels.
Thank you.
White.
By the way, that was our nickname, the angels.
White. Yani trouser white, shirt white,
tie blue. Always to the top. Asiko high school.
Oh, anyway, huyu ni siasa. So shout out to all Aldina Visram, yeah? Guys, yeah.
Yeah. So when I was in high school, I was the chairman of the wildlife club. I was the assistant chair of YCC club. I was the assistant chair of Junior Achievers club. I was the event organizer for the Christian Union, and I was playing a role in different other clubs. So the fact that I could multitask, and each club, how would I say, strengths zake. So like I think when I joined, one of my biggest achievements was when I joined Junior Achievement Club. I was the only African in the club. Ilikuwa imejaa Wahindi. So even when I joined, I think the other Africans in my school were wondering if I knew Wahindi. But we made it to the nationals, and when we went to Nairobi, everyone was shocked because the leading junior achiever I was the leading junior achiever. So it was very interesting, and mingling with all those people, meeting cultures and all. I used to play cricket. When in the cricket, I was in the cricket team and hockey team.
The black in the
yeah, by the mimi ndo nilikuwa kale ka sports. Yeah, I remember when we went to play Jeffrey Academy, walifikiri mimi ndo msee wa kubeba bats. So shock on them walipoona the first one kwanza ni mimi nimeshika bat nimesimama hapo. They were like, "Hiya, this is very interesting." Yeah, so I'm that one person who doesn't like to be told you can't do it. Yeah. So based on that, I was able to do so many things. I just wish in the Simplify academics because well, that's a different story.
That's a different story.
But
at least she like it right now.
Yeah, at least I want to be a minister for mining one day, but I'm not on to. But yes, I think for me, especially being in the clubs, I was able to test my ground and do things I couldn't do. When I was in Form 3, I was the first chairman, first of all, to be in Form 3. All chairman will call Form 4. I was the first chairman to be in Form 3 because when I was a vice, I used to do things that even the vice couldn't do. So when we went for elections, Wakamua, why wait till next year? I'll be chairman. So I was a chairman in Form 3, and I was the first chairman to take Alidina and Mamangina to Uganda. Alidina and Mamangina to Uganda. We had a proper road trip. We stopped in Nairobi, Nakuru, Naivasha, Paka Tukafika, Paka Tororo, Kampala, and came back. And you can imagine the person who organized all that was sitting in Form 3 South and a chorizo of it was out there. Yeah. So
now.
It's called Kevin Mulay. By those days, he was known as DJ Kev. He was one of the leading Christian DJs at that time. And he used to advise me because you can imagine this is a 16-year-old talking to you, talking about DJing, and first things like finish high school together. Shaman said then you can start talking about. But the things I would mention, you would tell me you talk like someone who cleared high school kitabu. So he would tell me the do's, the don'ts, and things like that. So by the time I was still in high school, I started my own. Though it was DVD mbili, which is because by the time a set of decks was quite next to impossible. So it was more like 2 DVDs, unacheza na remote, then you move to tapes, unacheza vitu majenzi hata elewa paka leo, but yeah. So yeah, that then I think also being in the Junior Achievers Club gave me the confidence to talk because it was a lot of talking. I think one of my biggest accolades in talking was when we held something with Star of the Sea, high school.
Zako zote 10 za skia.
Si ndio zilikuwa zinashika hivyo. Ulikuwa unataka kufanya nini?
Ah,
Na shimo la tewa boys.
Nashangaa.
Ulikuwa high school gani?
Mimi.
Ulikuwa high school gani? Utaji. Mimi nilikuwa Mama Ngina. Mimi na Lidina
Sasa
huyo.
ndio nitakutaja mimi nilikuwa Pehil High School.
What?
Pehil. Upper Hill.
Wewe. Hakuna. Kina Bensola wakujui.
Hiyo nimekataa. But anyway, we couldn't do the boys' school because it was never interesting.
It was, yeah.
So confidence ya mwanaume kuongea in front of madam and you do it perfectly, it just boosts your confidence, especially in high school. So
Zako ziko mbali.
Kumbuka kuna wengine kule watakakuja
I know. Hizo lazima ziko. So now putting all that together, once I cleared high school, moving on because I pursued a course in journalism, but mine was online. So by that time, there was something called African Virtual University, and our course was coming through Kenyatta University. So my course in particular, my degree course came from Indiana University of Pennsylvania, Nikamaliza, and very interesting. I've never stepped into the US, but my degree comes from there.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
Kama ya Uganda.
You stepped in by your
Wait,
books.
kama-
Yes.
Madimples.
Huyu. Enemy of progress.
I know.
Enemy of progress.
Yes,
My
yes.
brother. Unafikiria hapa ni sehemu za UDA. If you're talking about UDA, everything would have been right. So amazing, Sama. That's why I said you're very versatile. Like you've done so many things and you're hands-on with everything that you're doing, right? So it's been a journey for you.
Yes.
Yeah. And maybe what would you say about mtu umesema ati hapo kwa books no mtu ambaye yuko pale and then I feel like I need to get these grades for me to get there.
No, I'll still say by the grades is very important. I think I was a teenager by then. So vitu nafanya zina excite moyo. So you put that as priority.
Mm-hmm.
But as I came out, I came and realized, again, I don't know what was God's plan. You never know. Maybe ninge pursue academics na nipate A ama B. Right now I wouldn't be doing these things. Maybe I would be in an office somewhere, nimevaa hiyo tie ambayo Raja anasema sivaangi.
Na sisi tuko huku tunangoja kwa class.
I know, at the end of the day. So maybe I'll be living another boring life somewhere, so I don't know. But I say always put your academics first because I am a proud holder of, in KCSE, I had 2 A minuses. I had an A minus in English language and I had an A minus in history and government. So, this is again, yes, I might have failed, I might have got a C in the sciences, but I feel, again, at the end of the day, if you're in the States, they would have realized this guy has a talent, they would have perfected it. Yes. Unfortunately, the country we come from does not deal with nurturing talent. They deal with umepita exam, hujapita. What are you going to do? Are you going to be a doctor, an engineer, an accountant, things like that. But I would tell anyone watching this, by the way, do not say because you have a certain talent, maybe you're a good footballer out there, or you're a good actor, or maybe even a good DJ. Don't say because you have this talent, I will decide not to get serious with books. No, it doesn't work like that. Because for the world to take you serious, you have to have something on the other side. So at the end of the day, please take your book seriously, take your academics seriously, no matter where you're in secondary, you're in college, very important.
Okay.
Sasa back to mambo na DJ. Tena tukiona Edon alisema style yake tofauti. Kama DJ anacheza kapela, instrumental, Ongea na remix. Wewe unasemaje DJ style yako ni ipi?
I call myself a storyteller. Storyteller in the sense of I take you through a journey. Again, there's a saying so many of us say, and I think I share it with my deskmate. No, not my deskmate, my classmate. He used to sit at desk in front of me, and I talk about Chigakao, but everyone knows him as DJ K.
DJ K.
Yes. So we always say anyone can DJ,
Yes.
but not everyone can entertain. Very
Yeah,
important.
everyone can DJ, but not everyone can entertain.
Exactly. So for you to entertain, you see, like Elon's style, he's creative. So he gives you something you didn't expect. For me, it's more of a story. So I take you through a journey. By the time you realize tunakaribia to something else, umetoka pengine, like, wow, where did we come from and things like that. So me, my music is always a storytelling. I've played music for Gen Zs and played old school for them. Mziki ambayo they never even
Knew about.
Exactly. Zikichezwa, they were not born.
Uh-huh.
But you find them dancing to those songs because of how it was. You've related something from their time with an old school time and you flow. So by the time they realize, but they are doing ngoma, but ngoma ni kali.
Inaenda na flow, like tunaelewa unapozichanganya zile ngoma zako.
Exactly. So it's more of a story. So if you can tell a story and enjoy it, it's just like watching a movie. You can decide because watu wengi wanataka kuwatch movie ambayo imetoka 2024. You'd go back maybe 2023, 2022, but ukisikia movie ni ya 2002, like, hey, movie kitambo. But there's something you'd watch in the trailer and like, hey, this story like it's interesting. So let me watch. So it's the same thing. You would feel something like there's something about this music.
I can relate.
Exactly.
So what in influence part of us what is something you came about you apart from your MC? I'm an influence there to see influence by the acting. If you get about school man.
So for DJing, I think I was by that time when I first started hearing the first DJ, I think I had DJ Pinye. He had a crew called the Scratchaholics. So Scratchaholics
That's
was
way back.
yes, that's way back. That's close to about 1998, 99 now, just before the millennium came in. And I loved the way he would play a song and imagine a song ingine na inaingia smoothly. Hiyo kitu ilikuwa inani bamba mbaya. Like how these two songs are going together. I would try to nijaribu nimeiba tape ya madhangu, nimeenda nimefinya record, najaribu kuweka na song ingine. So ile song inafika place fulani umepause, alafu nategea ingine azingiani. So inanisumbua. That's when later I got to learn there's something called beats per minute. So at times you have to raise it, slowisha. That's more of a DJ class. So those are the things I learned later. But the thing that fascinated me was putting the music together, and I'm thinking if I'm excited with the music in a flow, I'm hearing like 5 songs, which if they were to play in full would take 15 minutes, but in Meziske in a span of maybe about 10 minutes, and it's so nice. I'm wondering, so what if I do this for them? So they'll be excited. So that's what got me excited, and that's what fascinated me. So when I started hearing DJ Pinye, Styles, by that time DJ Styles were upcoming DJ. I'm enjoying Scratchaholics. Then people started coming in. I later got to so by that time I was more raised in the church. So anything I would do, I was raised in the church. So anything I would do had to be Christian. Like there was no way I would tell my mom. Me, I was raised by a single parent, so there was no way I would tell my mom.
Big up to mama.
And there was no way I would tell my mom that nimesikia muziki secular na nataka nataka dunia ifunguke ikuue. So yeah, so that was the way I went. And I used the same talent I was given, because at the end of the day I still believe, and that is until today, I still believe that God has given everyone a talent. And even there's a parable in the Bible about the parable of the 10 talents. There was one who was given 5, there was one who was given 3, one was given 2, one was just given 1. The one who was given 5 akaenda kazichimba kazificha. Hakufanya kitu yote nazo. But this one who was given 1 decided to use it and make something out of it. And when the owner came back asking, what have you done with what I gave you? Huyu watano alimleta zile tano hizi hapa. But huwa moja alileta a humongous sum. So that's what I believe. If God gives you a talent, how you use it at the end of the day is the most important. If you decide mimi nitakanayo tu hivi, you know, I said that, okay. I went out and came to learn some of the biggest stars we know always started in the church. Look at Whitney Houston, look at Mariah, all of them were in the church. So somewhere along the line, yes, they may have lost their way, but still at the end of the day, they still kept on using their talent. It was for a different purpose, and some suffered their own consequences and all. But I always say, if you always believe where you got your talent from, always respect it, always give back, because I always give back to God. As much as I'll go and play in a club, I'll play in an event and all, in the cathedral, we don't have what we call pastors. We have reverends, we have provosts and all. My own reverend knows, we only DJ, because I give back in church. So at times, I serve in the media control center. So saa zingine verse inaweza chelewa kutoka kwa screen. Anaweza ni enjoy tu aniambie, DJ kwani jana kazi ilikuwa mingi sana.
Yes.
So you see, as much as he's making fun of me, that means he knows where you are and still respects you for who you are. He still loves what you do. And he's the same person who will call me and tell me, my son, my daughter hapa kuna wedding, nataka umshughulikie. So you see, if they felt, huyu ni wa dunia, huyu, yeye na shetani, same WhatsApp group, hawangekuwa number one wakimchukulia, the way they take me in charge, or they won't be that person who will still recommend, because at the end of the day, they know, whom say faith yake still believes in God. He still knows the most important thing, that Jesus died on the cross for my sins, and that's the most important thing. Sunday, I will still go to church, and I'm still there. So that's me. I will always do that. I think to sway from the original conversation.
But it's amazing. You know, Danny, I was going to ask you about that, because I know you, yeah, like you have the church foundation.
Yes. Yes.
So, you actually just took everything out of my mouth. Anything. That's what you're saying. Like in everything that you're doing, I also feel like I share the same sentiments as you. Like it's important to have that foundation. Whatever you're going to do later in the world, let your child have that foundation in kanisa. And then after huko then you have a point of reference to go back.
Very true.
But now if you don't have a point of reference of going back, then you get this, like so many things that are happening right now. Right?
I agree.
Yeah,
I
so
agree.
amazing. So guys, even if you are a DJ unapiga kwenye club, God, ndio.
Very important.
Unasemaje sindano? Leo kuna daktari hapa anadunga tu sindano mziki na kuna
Madam pia naenda kanisa.
Once again?
Yako home.
Home up back.
Unasemaje ndio uko home bana.
Sawa, okay, let me back to you. Ni club gani ulianza na watu? Club yako kwanza ama place yako kwanza ilikuwa aje na ulifilaje your first day at work?
As a DJ
sasa. Kwa club.
So as I said, what? Okay. As I said, I started off in the church. So events mingi sana nilifanya either in concerts or in church events and things like that. I will say officially I started my DJ in 2005. I'll actually be celebrating 20 years next year as a DJ.
Lazima utualike jamani. Guys, let's support Lenium in this.
But then imagine, I'm actually going to do a 20
Yeah,
year
let's do
anniversary.
this. Yeah.
That's what.
Ulikuwa class 1? So I was already 2 years out of high school.
Wewe wachana na huyu bwana. Tuofai class 1
Achana
yake.
naye. So anyway, so out of all those events, in 2005, as I said, I started doing events here and there. I think my first paycheck of DJing I got in 2008. 2008, and I'll never forget it. Was a concert at the Buxton Stadium, where I was the main DJ, and some of the artists who came included Yoen.
Big names
yes,
then,
big names then. Wow. Then Yoen, the late Machichi. Who else was there? We had Christine Della. We had Bantu, Simaloy. That whole crew of Mombasa. Who else? We had Nashville. The late Nashville was there. So Danko was there. It was a huge event. So for me,
Yes.
to be paid, and unfortunately, yes, other people are paid humongous amount of money. I was given 5,000. For me, at 5,000, as small as it was, I was happy because someone appreciated my talent.
Value. You saw value.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So that was my first paycheck as you asked. Then as time went by, I got into radio. And when I got into radio, they can get exposure now for things outside the church. So I would get invited for events. And that's the time when I felt the church, my own church, had overlooked me, because unainvitiwa Samburu, unainvitiwa Voi, unainvitiwa Kilifi, na unakuja event umecheza just for 1 hour and you paid good money.
Value.
Na church umejitolea man, mtaka 6 hours, na ile tu mtu kwambia bwana sifishika bahasha ya tenga moja upei, you know, and it's at home. Then it reminded me of this saying that a prophet is never accepted at home.
Mm-hmm.
So at one point I was very bitter about it, but then at some point later in life I realized that bitterness helped me to perfect my brand and to now go out there, because I imagined, wacha nisikudanganye, if church ingekuwa inani appreciative, I would be very comfortable seeing you talker, and maybe I would have stuck to that basis. Yeah, but I still went out, and something I still, some people say Lenium will be at a church, we play secular music, so maybe we backslide at one moment or things like that. It depends how you take it. Gospel again has changed. Things have moved from one synopsis to another, and for me, I feel that as much as you're in the world, what do you do? I'll give you a good example. I'll go back to the Bible. Jesus, alipokuja, hakuenda hang out na wase wa kanisa, or by that time they're called synagogues. The synagogues, or who are the people who's hanging around with? The people who hated the most. The tax collectors. The prostitutes. So, Matthew, the tax collector, the prostitutes, the people who were sick, people there was no will. Exactly. Yeah. So, in this world, that is what I take it from. He was in the secular world. So, those are the people who was out there. And what I do, even whenever I play, any club I play up to now, if it's kind of midnight, I always do a 1 hour gospel set. Always. But I always do, and I will say I'm so sure, especially if I'm playing on a Saturday, I will always say that I am so sure 90% of people here are mwendi kanisani kesho. So let me give you one step closer to God. And I will say it over microphone. Now, tutafanya paka mimi usema sasa hivi tunataka kuingia session ya praise and worship. Unaona msee na kabia yake ameshikilia, So for me, as much as some people will take hiyo labda ni PR ama ni kiki anatafuta, there's someone who will be touched by it, because someone atakuja na kwambia, as much as you've done that, umenikumbusha kitu. Someone will come and tell you, mazee umesema kitu, kesho acha niende church. Yes, and in a way that is ministry umefanya indirectly. So you'd rather that one person, what tunaambiwa again for Bible, that when there's 100 sheep, shepherd ataenda out because one sheep imepotea, not ataacha 99. So it's more or less the same. When this one person decides, mazee acha ni rudi kwa God too, not necessarily ataokoka, but amerudi tu because ameguswa and all. That's excitement in heaven. So for me, that's
ilikuwa hiyo siku labda achotwe au akutane na mabaya hiyo 1 hour, like wewe daktari wewe sindano usijifanye or something bad was to happen, but unaona hiyo unamkoa. Yeah, so again, I think also it's your foundation in church there. They did not judge you that unaenda club kucheza muziki alafu so you're also not judging unaendelea tu.
Yes.
So amazing. Tushajua nilikuwa shingapi, alicheza wapi his first gig, si ndio? Highest
paid.
Where? Utafanya na KRA.
Excuse me, watu waogopa kurogo, wanaogopa KRA.
Kurogo. I am protected by the blood of Jesus, my friend. I think my biggest paycheck was is 20. Coincidentally, it was just before COVID, 2019. I did a 4-hour gig, and I was paid 150.
4 hours.
Lenium ilikuwa
Elon ilikuwa 300, lakini aliongezewa na man done a good job akapewa. So that's good money here.
But nataka Lenium atuambie story yake moja, nataka tuambie ambapo ukiingia radio.
Yes.
Ulikuwa uko suspension
kwenye DJ?
Oh. Yeah, so
Lenium then guys.
Yeah, so 2004 I was sitting for my KCSE. And it was second term. Yes, it was the second term. Just towards tunaenda kufunga shule. So I remember by this time, about 2 weeks before, nilikuwa nimeingia. Me, I was a prefect by the way. I was a prefect, but nilikuwa so lakini mimi I was a prefect of the people. In the sense, mimi nilikuwa mtetezi mbaya. So nitakuja nitapata beshte yangu or mtu najua ameshikwa na hiyo time kwa tunaita piri. So ameshikwa na piri mwingine. So umefika umeitwa njoo so unasikiza hii kesi. So either I would say wacha niende naye nitampata punishment or nitamtetea sasa yeye nimwambie prefect achana naye. So many people used to know if I'm around wamesave. So some prefects got mad because now by that time pastor alikuwa ananiprotect. Nilikuwa na godfather shuleni, deputy headmaster who was the patron of Wildlife Club and I was the chairman of this club. Alikuwa anaitwa Mr. Tonui. Yeah. So Tonui was anytime akisikia sijui kuna shida akisikia ni okay, so my real name is Michelle Otieno. So akisikia ni Michelle anasema achana naye. So prefects used to get so mad with that. Like, this guy gets away with everything. So watu wakasema siku ya mwizi itafika. So unfortunately Tonui went on leave. Yeah. So he went on leave and everyone like, this is the perfect time. So prefects ganged up. Now I make sure they sacrificed one offender.
Yes.
They sacrificed one offender and wakamwambia wewe jitole ingia kwa shida. We will sort you, don't worry, but tunataka kushika mtu.
Wow.
So yeah, unfortunately I didn't get that memo.
Okay.
So here comes this time na nimekuja deep state unfortunately. So si nimemtetea nikamwambia vizuri, wacha nitadili naye. So kufika tumeenda kwa ground, chaambia umse atafika nyasi. Tumeka kwa nyasi tukaanza kupiga story na umse, tukapiga story for like 20 minutes kaambia basi rudi class imeisha. So kumbe ma prefects wako hapo na headmaster wanaangalia unaona
you see what
he's doing and all. So here goes this guy goes back to class. Me I was summoned. So when I was summoned I was told because you've not been practicing the ethics of a prefect and all, we are suspending you as a prefect. So I became a commoner. Wow. So yeah, so my prefect badge was taken away from me, my prefect tie was taken away from me.
No.
So mimi nilikuwa msee kawaida until pending investigations or pending so basically that was until time iishe. So next time niingie. So here comes this time in between, mimi ni commoner in class tu, ile mwalimu hajafika, tunapiga fujo. I used to sit near the window. So mimi ndo again storyteller. Napea na story. Watu wanasikiza. So it reaches a point I realize naongea peke yangu. Watu are not responding. You know, like mnamesikia? So my desk mate ananigonga. So kunigonga the first time I thought it's like story imeshika, you know. So only to come and say quiet, kutan, headmaster kwa hapa kwa dirisha. So headmaster tells me we go to so like you all time to stay, you are a prefect, I put you on suspension, you want to hear so for you just go home.
No.
Yeah.
Machungu. Mimi nahisi yo that guy kuna machungu na wewe.
What is story bad ya baba?
So ujue tu kama is weird. My mom was also on leave at home. Mamangu, as I said, single mom. Mama ni baba, mama ni simba.
Yeah.
Any those people, there's no way you're coming home at 11 o'clock umetoka wapi.
Gen Z, what are you doing now?
So nilijua tayari nikienda home. Before nirudishwe shule, nitakuwa nimepigwa kama mwizi kule nyumbani. So I had to come up with a way, and it was a Friday. I thought nikasema, find a way. If Friday potee, wewe rudi home jioni. So mimi niko kwa mat, I'm thinking, nimepanda matatu pale hospitali. So nimefika lights. Hiyo time tulikuwa tunakabarisha ba Kisaudi. So I'm thinking nikifika home, somehow labda yuko leave anaweza kwa ametoka tukutane. Nikashuka lights. So I decided let me walk to showground. Nikifika showground, nitakaa nitulie, nifikirie. By the time I walk, let me get around it. So as I'm walking, your time kulikuwa kuna maboda or anything. So as I'm walking, I see this place called Pulse FM. And I'm thinking, sinaweza jidai mimi nataka job kama radio presenter. Niingie, ni pass time and all. By the time nikitoka, itakuwa jioni, niende home, you know, I'll be safe. Saturday we'll come in, send a shule, Sunday church. Monday, we will think about Monday when Monday gets here, exactly. So now something about every evening, we always carry an extra shot with us.
No, I want to ask you, say so
and the full white, so we always carry an extra shot with us because you never know, maybe unaweza ambiwa kuna trip mahali instantly na una time kwenda home kutafuta shati. So I always had an extra shirt.
Okay.
Nikaja kwa kichochoro, nikavaa shati vizuri, a nice black shirt, tucked in. My white trouser was clean, so it looked very nice. Walked in. Nikaenda pale, I didn't know.
And also mwili ulikuwa umekukubali.
I was slim by then. So mimi na kibag changu nikaingia. So I meet this lady, I'll never forget her name. Her name was Wanda. Wanda was the receptionist. So I walk in, morning, how are you? Fine. So me being tall, no one would have thought home saying in high school. I always used to be able. So I walk in, hi, how are you? Fine. I wanted to see your boss. I didn't know by that time the boss of a radio station is called a station manager. Me, it's the end of media school, so I have no idea. So I walk in and I tell Warda, I want to see your boss. Like, do you have an appointment? No, I don't have an appointment. What in regard to what? In getting a job. Okay. So she tells me to sit. I sit down. Niko na gazeti, nikaanza kuangalia current affairs, nianze kujua what is happening nianze kujua what is happening nikiulizwa Gaza nini imefanyika na sajibu. So nasoma. So I'm waiting. So Warda goes in, comes back like, you're lucky. He has an appointment. You can go see him. So I go. Nikiingia kwa ofisi, I meet this Indian guy. His name is Arif Manji. So Arif Manji looks at me. Akona sigara yake. So he tells me, sit down. First he tells me, I hope you don't mind. So I'm thinking, I hate the smell of cigar. But
I don't mind. Boss.
See the boss. I'm just going. So we have a conversation. He's asking me, why do you want a job in my station? So I'm thinking, I had heard of Pulse FM. But by that time, Pulse FM ilikuwa na uzungu mwingi. I used to think Pulse was Capital FM. So I told him, your station is good, but watu wa Mombasa wengi wako na Uswahili. And you people are approaching too much of English, so you find people would rather go for local stations. This guy, anazima sigara yake listens, like, okay, catch attention. But unfortunately, that's my end of thinking capacity. Sina kitu after hapo, because everything else is high school related. Hey, so I'm thinking, so he's like, hey, tell me more. So I'm like, yeah, I think that's the best thing. And so I decided now to take my high school life and put it and twist it. So I'm like, you have an audience, especially for students, who, especially during the weekend, have nothing to listen to. So I was even telling them the interests, and I told them about events I have done, but in a third person, like someone else has done it. And he finds it so interesting. Like, I've never had someone approaching it on a teenage type of thinking, and he likes the idea. So he tells me, unfortunately, right now all our shows are full, but we don't have a Christian show. So I'm like, sawa. So I mentioned to him so many Christian artists from Nairobi, international. So even this guy goes like, hey, you're so versatile. You're on this side and you're also on the Christian section. Like I mentioned to him. So as I mentioned to him, yeah, computer Natalia. So Natalia, in Jamaica, there's an artist who used to be a secular artist, now gospel, her name is Chandel Franklin. And I type and I'm hey, this is true. I mentioned about 2 songs there. Natalia, 2 songs, and as he type and I'm like, yeah. So even in between, he makes a phone call to production. Why are we not playing radio? It's playing by Chandel Franklin. It is big outside. So all the things I'm mentioning, and these are things now because I love the Christian sector and all. So he gets so interested. Our conversation lasts about 2 hours. Now for me,
2 hours.
Yes. For me, mimi niko hapo, tuna have conversation every time I can make phone call naangalia clock. Naona 1 o'clock. Time. So mimi nangoja 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, no matter what time I can go home. Yeah. Because shule ni 4. So haina shida. So ifika 1. So he goes like, okay, so I love what you're doing. I want you to go and do a voice test. So I'm taken to a production room. I do a voice test.
Lenium.
Yeah. So in this production room, I get to meet someone called Elijah Girimani. Elijah, in the future, will come and meet and work at Baraka FM. He's one of the people who coordinated Spice FM, what we have Spice FM now. Then I also met someone who will be Sauti Soul's manager, Malik. So when I met Marek there, he was just a guy who was bringing international stuff to the radio and things like that. So we have a conversation and we talk. These guys are like, hey, you have good English and all. You're from Mombasa. Like, hey, I was born in Pande Hospital.
Lucky guy, you're just giving out stories like the composition.
So Pande Hospital, in Jeffrey Academy, went to La Triza, went to Alidina Vista. Oh, you finished the Alidina Vista? Yeah, I finished the Alidina Vista. So they mention a few teachers, and I'm like, yes, he teaches this, like, hey, this guy is really from the coast, So that's another hour gone. So by the time we do the voice test to Namaliza, it's about 3 o'clock. So after voice test, because there's nothing else, I'm sure that we told come back another day, will not happen. So naweza toka hapo nipige round kidogo, nirudi lights, nipande matatu, So when we finish the voice test, go downstairs because I'm told just wait for a bit. He had a guest. So I was assuming nikirudi kwa ofisi nitaagwa imeisha. So kuingia kumbe these guys were listening to my voice test. So these guys are like, we love your voice, we love what you're doing, and we're thinking we want you to start working here. Like,
Kuna msema nipiga mimi amenikick out somewhere.
Mi kwa kichwa by the way, my chain of thought ilikuwa imefika kwa interview. Ilikuwa ijafika nitapata job, employment, you know. So these guys are like, so what we need the papers and
CV
papers. So I'm like, I don't have my papers right now at the moment. Will that be a problem? So I was expecting a better Kwashida Itoke. Like, no problem. We'll just put you on probation for 3 months. Then after 3 months, I'm sure by that time you'll have put your papers ready and all. So like, but in the meantime, we wanted to go back and start thinking of a name of the program, what you call it, nini hizo vitu zote. So I'm like, wait. So tumepanda juu nafikiria, okay, wait, nimepanda show. How? It was so weird. So I get into production studio, I meet the head of programming, and we start having a discussion. So like, we want you, because it's the Christian program, we're thinking you start Sundays. So Sunday 8 to 10. I'm like, oh, okay, 8 to 10, workable, sir. So what name do you have in mind? I'm thinking, so there was a TV in the production room. So kulikuwa na polisi walikuwa napiga matching. So I remember, nilisikia mtu akisema sijui, and the GSU now are walking. So hiyo kitu kashika kwa kichwa. So I tell them, what's the name of the show? I tell them GSU. So like, GSU? That's why they're thinking, why army and all related? Like, Christians are marching in the army of God. So like, very interesting. But what will GSU stand for? Gospel Selection Unit.
Oh my goodness, Lenium. Oh my god.
So yeah.
You can't fake this shit.
I know.
Man.
You know? So even me when you're even like, where? Kijana uko juu.
This is natoka wapi?
Hey. So I'm just checking these things and like, okay, sawa. So they love the idea. Na watu wanapigia Arif simu. We've come up with the name of the show already. Hey, we've gotten the timings. So I'm told, so your show will come just before Abdul's show. I don't know who Abdul is. So your show will come just before Abdul's show. He does a Muslim show. And just before you, we have someone who does a blues show. So his name is George. So funny enough, fast forward, George is the current countrywide manager for Telcom Kenya. Yeah. So funny thing, Abdul, now the day, let me jump forward before I come back. The day I come to do the show, when I'm done with the show, and Abdul walks in, a very huge, big Abdul. So he and tells me, hi, my name is Abdul Samad, what's your name? Exactly. So I tell him my name is Lenium. I'm like, okay. So he's into like, hey, you speak nice English, and that's how we became friends.
What?
Yeah. So later, Abdul Samad loses weight and becomes the MP of Vita, the governor of Mombasa. Small world.
Bra. Angejua alitoza alidinabisa because suspension.
By then, I'm sure Pakalewa do your story.
Guys, exclusive.
So anyway, so after we had this conversation of the name and everything, we go down. So they tell me, for 3 months, you'll be on probation. We just need you to sign because for labor laws and things like that, because they say these people can just come in at any time. So we sign somewhere.
Do you have an ID?
So a month before, so unajua zile sales out wa ID kuja shuleni kuja walikuwa wamekuja the month before. So ID zitakuja third term. So sina ID. Uzuri kwa ile place ya kwa hata kuna waiting. You have nothing. Hizo zinapelekwa kwa staff room. So uzuri whatever I was signing didn't have somewhere needed to put my ID number. I just name, designation, nini, few details and I signed. That was done. So we even agreed on after 3 months, we'll start paying you 6,000 shillings. 6,000 shillings per month. Now remember, I'm just coming to do 2 hours per week. So in a month, it's 8 hours. Kuna 6 kwa kichwa niko 6,000 shillings.
6,000 shillings. I don't know shillings waiandika.
Yani for me kwa kichwa now, I'm already thinking 3 months itaisha lini. Sijafikiria naomba by the way. Imagine your excitement and all. Now I'm getting excited. I've been told Sunday you're starting. No problem. I'll be on Sunday. Sawa haina shida. So by the time I walk out of Parts FM, it's about 5:30.
Your problems come back.
5:30 kwanza niko excited, niko 5:30 haina shida. Hata niko home 6, matata nafikiri nimefanya preps nini ya walk. Panda matata nafika home. Sasa kufika nyumbani, madhana anasema school fine nini nimemaliza. Here comes Saturday. Saturday usiku pressure ikaniingia. Sasa nikani hit Sunday I need to go to studio. But we go to church with mom. How will this work? Well, so that night I had okay, mom, if you're watching this, you should look at this.
Yeah.
So I had this weird idea. So I tell my mom, I've not been performing well in high school. I've been thinking, just before we go to church, niende nifanye tuition na mabishte zangu, at least we catch up vizuri, then tumalize tuition around 10, mi nikupate church. I shared the idea with my mom. Hey, my dad is quite excited. Like, hey, like, hey, what? Are you sure? Hey, okay, so we didn't do this. No. Yeah,
Okay, 6,000 shillings.
We were actually got 3 months from now. 3 months from now. So, so even in the morning, my mom wakes me up at 6 and I get ready 7. Unatoka, so akanipatia fare. Unaenda wapi? Nikamwambia tuition niko pale Mkomani. So uchezi mbali, yani hata kama akidecide anataka kukudrop, bado una shida because my mom used to drive. So my mom was like, "Asawa, basi you go shika fare because me says irauka that much. Service is at 11. What will I do for the next 3 hours?" So tuko matatu ya lights. Kaingia. Kwanza nakumbuka niliingia around 7:30. They were so impressed, like, "Hey, your first day umerauka. Watu Mombasa waraukangi." Nini? So like, "Hey, you really love what you're doing." So even Arif was there that day. So we did the first show. The first show was not so, because again, this is a Christian show, the first Christian show on the station, something unheard of. So we had like 1, 2 callers, Gaisha. So 10 o'clock, they're like, "We'll review, but this is going on well. I'm sure it will pick up as time goes by." I go to church, nikifika church, my day, how was it? It was good. Yani cards inaingia na vizuri.
Tuition ilikuwa poa. Tupiga physics fresh.
So Monday I go to school. So I go to school on Monday. When I go to school on Monday, I najipeleka straight to headmaster. So I go like, I'm sorry for what I did last week. You come up some mind. So headmaster akashtuka. Okay. You sure utarudia? Sawa. Go to class.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Wow.
So me, I expected by that time, no, call your parents, nini. But I was ready. I'm quite sure how I'll play around with it. So when I go to class, I became so serious. Yani watu wako mimi naanza kuunda show yangu. So naona vile nilikuwa napanga events. Niko hapo nimefungua kitabu yangu ya physics huko nyuma nimeanza kuandika. So 8 o'clock tunaongea nini? 8:20.
Guy.
So Monday nikapanga my show for Sunday. Shamaliza. So now I'm thinking, lakini these people will not believe me. I need to get people to call me. So what do I do? Tuesday, I start walking around in classes. I tell guys, by the minute, the radio presenter like, wongo, walk. So I'm like, story. So I'm like, guys, so let's do a bet. If Sunday mukiwasha radio mkinisikia, Monday mnanibaia break. So everyone's like, paka people wrote. Kulikuwa na kaimati na viazi karai zingine wa ajabu. So the reason why people are tuning in on Sunday was to make sure that hawatanisikia and Monday washabaiwa break.
Yeah.
So here comes Sunday and they hear me in station. They're like, so people are when I was in high school, people used to call me director because of the way I was in so many clubs and I would direct things. That was my nickname, director. So I remember when I got on the show, first 2 minutes even meanza like paka the guy who was assisting me to learn the controls akashtuka akasema simu 2 minutes akasema tushike tu. So I know director ni wewe mambo poa ni team like team Alina. So this guy is like umse amejintroduce tu na shapata kola. So I'm like mambo, so I'm trying to avoid umse asitaje mimi pia niko same school. So instantly mwambia tuma salamu basi kwa watu. Natuma sijui nani which form. Alafu nicheze ngoma gani? So I get the song. So that happens. Other people are listening. You are not serious. Wow. I'll never forget in the first 30 minutes, because we had more than 25 calls. So for this other guy, he's in shock. He's like, wait to silenge simu. Sunday wananga simu zivi. So my boss is listening again. He's wondering, at the end of the day, he's thinking, who's saying then anakuja hapa, anafanya show that has never been done, and he's getting more than 25 calls in the first 30 minutes. At a weekday shows, as it quite So we did the show, some sent SMS and all. So by the time I finished 10 o'clock, I'm thinking I need to get to church. So nimeshuka chaga nini nimeitwa ofisini. So it's like, hey, the show was really good today. I don't know what you did, but whatever you're doing, keep on doing it like that. This will work wonders and all. So that went on for like tukaingia holidays for month of August. Also, getting guys from church to call in. So now you have people who are calling in not only from one school, but people from different places. So this goes on and on. And I remember when it came in September we got a Science Congress. So during Science Congress, I had now my katim. Katim sasa katim wako like, kuna dem fulani kutoka River Girls na mkatia. Sasa wewe mtaje kwa show, alafu yeye atakuwa. So you can imagine mimi naleta tu makaratasi jina mtu shule jina shule hivyo. So on Sunday I go to the show nataja. So now it moves from just Mombasa unasikia Ribe, see Taita, see wapi. So the station manager is in shock like, oh, msee ni vipi? So they said, you know what? What? That's what is coming. Okay. So this guy decides, you know what? 2 hours is not enough for you. So I need to give you 4 hours. So on being given 4 hours, so George's show was pushed. So now I start from 6 to 10. Then George comes in from 10 to 12 doing blues. Then someone comes in from 12 to 2 akifanya Muslim show because he was way into religion. And actually, this was his show. They're the ones, the Muslim community, but Pulse FM, what we currently have as regular. So when I started doing the 4-hour show, everything moved smoothly. Until one day I came from school on a Tuesday evening. Nimeingia home, nikaitwa bedroom. Hebu njoo kaa hapa. Mimi hata sina dai. Sasa unafanya kazi wapi? Let me tell you, for like a few seconds, heart yangu ili stop. Yani nili freeze up like, wow. Ndio hii siku. Ile siku imefika. So I'm asking my mom, kufanya kazi kivipi?
Kazi gani?
So my mom goes like, yeah, hata mimi sikuelewa. This friend of mine at work tells me she's been hearing you on radio.
Friends.
Like, sasa ilikuwa sijafikiria hiyo part ya because me I knew my mom wouldn't listen to it. So but sasa sikufikiria workmates pia watasikiza. So like, my workmate has heard you on radio. I'm like, hey, radio. Okay. So I'm asking my mom how. When did they say they hear you? They hear me until they hear you on Sunday. I'm like, mom, Sunday, see me go tuition and after go church. So my mom goes like, no. What I'll do this Sunday, I'll make sure I listen. Because I've listened to Baraka FM, I don't listen. I don't hear you. Hapo ndo kidogo nikasikia. So I'm like, okay. So Sunday, I wake up. So Sunday, I wake up at around 5:30 nimetoka. Naingia studio. Lakini hiyo siku sasa kwanza na avoid kuongea because niko sure madam anasikiza. So you make sure that, yeah, okay, so even I'm trying to change my accent, asijue ni mimi, just in case atasikiza studio. So she, when the show was done at 10, mimi naenda church lakini yani naenda tu zile leo ndio ile siku ya kusulubiwa. So I was just going very humble. Sina raha, nimeingia church kawaida, mimi ndo kumtafutia mwambie nimefika nimeingia teens class. Hata nimeenda huko straight. Nimemaliza, others lazima mrudi pamoja. So tumeingia kwa gari. Kuingia kwa gari, sijui nani alikuwa amekasirisha maadili church. So nimeingia na hasira, nikasema basi. Wacha nitume risala zangu za rambirambi na mapema. Because hapa nitauliwa, mwili yangu itapelekwa Mungu. So my mom comes in, hasira zake, then she keeps quiet, she calls, all right, let's go home. We won't even eat lunch, we'll chakula nyumbani. So we go home, I'm relaxing, tumefika home. I'm trying, it's not been brought up. So sometimes jioni mimi niwasha mbele. Kama ni kukufa acha tukufe. I was going to confess, but before, let me first find out something. Ulisikiza hiyo station umesemekana ni nafanya kazi. Like nilisikiza lakini kulikuwa na mzee anafanya show, anaongea Kiswahili kwa mix lakini nikenda sikuelewa. Nikasema hizi kwa nini? Labda walikufananisha sauti. And the call goes on.
Oh my God.
So that went on until November. So I started doing the show in July, August, September. I was on probation. So October I received my first paycheck for 6,000 shillings. Yes. So October, November. Unfortunately, December, Pulse FM started going bankrupt. Or issues with payments and all. So shows were put on hold and things like that. So sometime in January. Now remember, me and KCSE November. So kwanza this time I was so nishaanza kupata paycheck, niko Pulse FM like every other day. So even in between, I was told, come January, you will start doing a request show with one Chico lab. Yeah. So yes, it was on Nation TV.
Legend.
Nation TV then moved to Super Sport and all. So I was to do a show with him. But in between I used to do news tidbits. So it was small in English. Because they were saying they didn't have someone who spoke English fluently. So me and I said, in between the breakfast show, nini. So by that time now, I was proud to look at home and by the mom, nimepata job.
Wapi after form 4?
Nikamwambia unakumbuka ile story mlikuwa mnasema stories za radio inspiration nikaenda katafuta job ya radio. Ulipata wapi? Station inaitwa Pulse FM. Sikia. Frequency 91.5 sawa. So even that day my mom besides anasikiza akasikia the news tidbits. Akaenda, I heard you lakini mwongea fupi sana. Nikamwambia lakini wamenipatia show naanza Sunday. Unaanza ni Sunday. So my mom even drops me at the station. So on Sunday nikiingia studio kwanza it was like I was doing it like it's a new show. Hey, what's up? Nini, my name, if you've never been listening to. So kwanza my mom was excited. Let me tell you, nimemaliza show nifika church. Mother yangu alikuwa excited to introduce her to everyone. This is my son. He does a radio show. Kwa kichwa niko mama ningejua ni 4 months ago. So yeah, that was how I got into radio. November, December tukafunga. January, Pulse FM was sold to Radio Rahma. Became a full Muslim station. I went back to being a commoner. Na results zangu na ngoja because results toka February. Results zilitoka hivi na I'm thinking, sasa ni hustle tena. Kale ka 6,000 nilioja miezi mbili tu. Alafu najua teenager, ufikiri kusema. Let me tell you, 6,000 ya kwanza niliingia duka. By that time kulikuwa na duka inaitwa Ongea. Ongea mchina gani?
Kuna Ongea iko kwa mchina ilikuwa
So 6K ya kwanza nilitumia nimenunua nguo, viatu, bling, yani imetoka hapo niko full nimeng'ara. So yeah, that's how I enjoyed my money. I think ingejua kusave labda ingesaidia. But anyway,
but so ulikuwa unakula drip, man. You used to drip, man.
alikuwa na Durag.
The Durag ni 1,200. 1,200. All because they were red sun amevaa Durag kama ile. Anyway, so Feb, I get my results. I didn't perform well, so I'm thinking, what do I do? In between hustling, I meet African Virtual University online. I start applying. So the day I'm going to African Virtual University, they're on 7th floor on Cannon Towers. So the first day, nilienda register notes. So on the second day, nimepanda lift, but nilifinya 7th floor, nilifinya 8th. So kufinya 8th, kutoka, I realized, nimetoka 8th floor, this is not the right office. But ukitana naona Baraka FM.
You're just walking and then boom.
So I'm thinking Baraka FM. Interesting.
FM.
So I'm thinking red lakini I'm like ile ilikuwa but so I go back to finish my registrations and all. Nikimaliza I still have time. So I said let me just go. So I walk in and at the reception this time I know who the boss is. I'm like I want to see the station manager. Okay. Do you have an appointment with Sheila? I'm like, no. Oh, so Sheila is a name, son.
Okay.
So, no, but I would love to come and get a job. Same line I used for Pulse FM. So, I wait for close to about an hour. On walking in, nikiingia kwa office ya station manager. Mazeni mama kende skimetu wangu.
Where?
Then you get to I'm like, oh, this is Adrian's mom. Adrian Minor, the late
Adrian. Yes. Oh my God, keep resting in peace, bro.
I'm thinking, what? So I walk in and she sees me. Michelle, how are you? Fine. So I said, Kijana. So, hey. So after talking for like 10 minutes, like, hey, so what brings you here? I'm like, I'm here for a job. So and I check her first. A job? You don't have, people have to go to media school and all. Sasa kwa kichwa I'm thinking, should I tell her?
I have a CV.
Kwa CV, nimework kwa media house for 5 months. I'm thinking, so I'm thinking. In between conversation, who walks in? Elijah Gimani.
Wait.
So Elijah beats me. Lenium, how are you?
Yeah.
Uko hapa? So tayari nilikuwa this guy is good. Anaanza kupeana sifa like, alifanya show, ikapanda kwa Stedman nini. So she like, Hey,
What
hey.
time? School.
So ile time anaambiwa, she looks at me and me kwa niko chini
Unajua mabosi.
hapa nimechomewa kuchomewa.
Okay, hapo.
So she's like, okay, so we finished the conversation. Elijah walks out like, so you were working on radio while you're in Albina. Does Adrian know this? Yeah, okay, so Adrian knows, but nikisema nitamchomea na yeye pia atamuda huko. Nikaambia, he has no idea. Oh, okay, so she says, okay, anyway, just go with Elijah, do a voice test, I listen to it. So I go do a voice test, she listens and she's shocked like, hey, this is good. And she's like, okay, so let's see what you can do. Give me some time. Do you have a phone I can call you with? Because by then we didn't have phone. Hatuna masimu. So but uzuri, my mom had promised me after high school, and there all things were going. Kuna Kasimu kangu, Kasimu and C25 ilikuwa na Ariel.
Siemens.
So nimepeana namba yangu, like okay, this is my number, okay, sawa. So the whole week she doesn't call. Second week ananipigia simu. Like come we meet, we have a discussion with him. So like come, we have a discussion. She totally doesn't bring up stories of shule kabisa. Be professional. Hata vile ananisalimia, hakuna zile za ati when rafiki mtoto wangu ndio nani.
Sauti shacheza pale.
Things are different. So she's like, I like what you've done, but I think we need to fine tune you and all. And since I've been given your history of what you did, we want you to start the same way. So there's a program called Off the Hook, done by Justice Makideo. I want you to join him, see how he does stuff and grow. And that's how I got into it. But, so that's 205. You can get started doing a show with Justice Makideo, Off the Hook every Sunday. It used to be 2 hours, then grew to 4 hours. After that, one sudden day, there was a presenter called Pauline Matano, who used to do the mid-morning show. She fell sick. So on falling sick, those are the days mimi nakuja na CD zangu nakuja kuweka mziki. So in between, station manager ameingia pressure. Nani atafanya hii show? Watu wa breakfast hawezi rudi kufanya show. Watu wa afternoon hawajafika. So she turns and looks at me. So she tells me, I want you to be in studio, but kazi yako ni kureceive simu. I can receive. That's it. Receive, and I know how to do this thing. I receive.
What happened to our extra? Extra.
So in between, ndio hiyo nikafikia wacha kala mtu ananipigia simu, hey vipi unipigia kutoka wapi? Kembeni. Kembeni vipi? So I mentioned like 2 places in Kembeni and I resonate. Sawa, so ngani I play. So she's listening like, okay. So umse kumbe anaweza. So by the time I'm done, the show is from 11 to 1. So nikitoka 1 o'clock, she calls me in her office like, you did that show well. So what we're thinking, Pauline is still sick. Tomorrow you'll also do the show. That's how. So I did the show for the whole week. So doing the show for the whole week, unfortunately, Pauline Matano comes back, and Pauline wants her show. So Pauline is being told, so what will you do? Pauline will find party Tara, the party request, Lenium atafanya. So that is how I was introduced to my first beef in the office. And because Pauline was... this is a 20-year-old boy who's doing a 42-year-old's show. So she didn't like that this boy is coming to take over her show. So we went on. After some time, I think it just became normal to her. I did the request show. Then after some time, I was moved into the drive time show. I started doing the show with Alex Mokideo. Then Alex was taken to the breakfast show. I did the show with a lady called Patience Nyangi. Patience ran for governorship in Voi last elections. Then after that, I moved. I started doing, apart from the drive time show, I was doing a weekend show because now I was using my talent as a DJ. So I created a show called Saturday Night Live. So Saturday Night Live is actually the show that created so many DJs, including DJ Elon. Elon, he was in a crew called Tribe DJs. So Tribe DJs had their own hour. He won Pilsner Mfalme. His name was DJ Nelly. Came to be called King Nelly. K-Trix. Yes. K-Trix was in my university Eldoret. So what he would do, he would send me his mixes. I play them. So even before he could play anywhere, he was already playing on radio. So by the time now popularity can grow, I can say, let me try for Pilsner Mfalme. He came out number 6, but Kodred took him. Yeah, so that created a platform, and after that, so many other DJs started coming through the show and things like that. So that was the growth for radio, and yeah, we say the rest is history.
The rest is history. We still see it because that journey is amazing, Sana. You know, and you're still doing it, and you still make a gap. You know.
I know.
Oh, amazing, Sana. Sasa ni nini ungesema?
tupatie memorable gig yapi ambayo hii imestick kwa kichwa chako mpaka leo, gig yapi ambayo mpaka leo kwa kichwani?
I think my most memorable gig, I've played outside the country, but my most memorable gig was when I played at the Norfolk Hotel in Nairobi. So I remember after doing the setup and all, watu wamesikia DJ ametoka Mombasa. So there's this phenomenon that watu wa Mombasa are slow, watu wa Mombasa, you know. So so already these people had a mindset.
Judging.
So I remember when I started my set, everyone was shocked. Said that he said. So we went on. So I remember there was a group of old guys who, when you had been told by the technician, wale ndo judge, jury, execution. Wale wakiamua umeenda, watatoa hapa walete mtu. Nimetoka kwa mara moja USB kutolewa. So me in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, how will I work those people out? So I got some little information about those people, started playing music that augurs well with them. Kuna ka twist nilicheza ya Daudi Kabaka. So one of them stood up like, eh. So I saw him dancing on a bar, sio Ongea. Played about 3-4 tunes. One of the guys came, akanifuata akaniambia, hakuna mtu ametuamsha hapa. In several months, you've done a good job, akanipatia 3K. Akaniambia, hii nunua ka drink. So after that, several people started tips zilikuja. I think I left that day with about 65K out of tips. Yes, I'll never forget. 65K out of tips. And I was being paid a mere 35,000. Where you're done.
Joba sasa kunipeta uingie mapema mneleza.
So now why it was memorable is not even about the tips. The memorable bit is now when I was closing up and the other DJ was coming in. I remember they called me to my table. We are so sorry, we judged you differently. Imagine, we judged you differently. We were told, first they didn't even know I'm from Mombasa. They thought I was from Nairobi. So they would judge you differently. We thought you were just like these other DJs. So one of them was like, so, Nairobi natoka hapo. And then it's Nairobi. When you are Nakuru? So kama wewe sio Nakuru, labda umetoka Kitale, Naivasha, like no Mombasa. Wakashtuka Mombasa. They look at each other. They're like, some of us have not even seen the ocean in Mombasa. Like, umetoka Mombasa, hey. And you played like this. So they're like so excited, like we judged you, so sorry, Nini. And they're so ready. One of them got me an Uber. And I'm going to pay for the Uber wherever it will take you. Where sema to Nimi, don't worry, we're so sorry. Make sure akaita waiter, make sure amechukua sapa. Patie sapa and nayo, mwingine akasema nitakumbaya drinks. So usually I have a rule. There's some gigs where I go, depending on the type of client I have. I would rather, that's why you find me walking around the boat like this. I would put a drink here so that you don't have to see the brand. Because you never know, someone can, again, judging you. Yeah. So unaweza kuwa unapewa drink, labda ungenibaya drink hapo, they're like, huni mbele. You know, so I declined, like, no, thank you. Maybe another time when I'm not working, that's good. So this lady was on the table like, hey, did you make a pombe? So they were so shocked. So that thing just them.
Yeah.
And funny enough, years later, I still talk this. The lady who told me in Mekatapombe still calls me once in a while, telling me I have a wedding here, I have a friend here. She's referred me to I think about 7 different weddings, and every time she'll call back and tell me, you never disappoint. So that's why it's memorable to me, because it opened doors for so many things I do in my home. Stadium. Yeah. So that was 2011. 2011, a week before Kisangaraja Nasema, I had just come from marrying one of my close friends. Her name was Brenda Wanjira Jobu. So Brenda died on her way to Akida Digiango. What is now known as Volume Club was once known as Full Moon Club. Yeah, so she was at Full Moon with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend was called Michael Mahindra. So they were coming to Mombasa Beach, on a beach party. So, Lenium, ushaanza kucheza na mimi nakuja tu kukuona, mimi sitaki kuona kina DJ Space, kina DJ Frida, kina Pinye, mimi nakuja tu kuona wewe. So excited, she's coming all the way. So I got in her tickets, kaambia tickets zako ziko kwa mlango. So they had those Harley Davidson bikes, zile kubwa. So wametoka full moon, they're coming to Mombasa Beach. So kuna place inaitwa Pets Apartment. Hiyo kona is a black spot.
Yeah.
So here two matatus coming from town wanafukuzana. So one decides to overlap, akatoka. So ile kutoka akakutana head on collision na Michael and Brenda. Michael died on the spot, Brenda died in hospital. So friends to organize burial yake and all. So we buried her on a Friday. So on Saturday, Rose Muhando was launching her album in Mombasa. She was brought by the KG Church. So I was the DJ, and other artists performing were Eunice Jerry, Giuliani, and other sets of Mombasa artists. So Giuliani has just finished performing. So we are on stage, and I remember that day I was not myself because I just come from burying my friend, and it's because nilikuwa nishapewa deposit event. So huwezi fanya kitu kingine, nirudishe pesa
You have to show up.
So I'm in my open shoes, short t-shirt, kama kangu blonde. So stage is metallic. So we are in the sun, jua imechapa. So nimefika mahali lazima tuende open shoes zangu, mimi nasikia joto. Kakanyaga stage ni metallic. So nimesimama, so this MC was like, okay, so now are we ready for Rose Muhando? Yes. So just before Rose Muhando went to hype, so tumeingia hype session. So he tells me nicheze ngoma. So naenda kushika machine hivi. Machine kumbe imeconnectiwa na generator, haina earthing.
Oh.
Alafu kumbuka nikakanyaga stage sina viatu. Nimeshika tu hivi. I remember all I saw was purple. God. Mimi nikiamka nimeona tu purple, alafu ina fade. So so next I wake up, nimezungukwa na watu. Niko kwa ground, everyone is shouting, Lenium, uko sawa? Lenium, uko poa? Me in my head I'm thinking, Lenium, nani? So I'm like looking at them. So I see this one familiar face. So this is Bantu. So I'm looking at Bantu and I'm like, I know this face, but I can't talk because my mouth is dry. I'm trying to talk seriously over there. So then said, wacha ni raise mkono nimpointie. So niki-raise mkono kumbe nimedislocate shoulder. So ku-raise nasikia uchungu. Kusikia uchungu mwili yote imerudi. Kumbe nimevunja my toes imevunjika, my heel on my left leg imevunjika. So all that pain comes back. Ikirudi, pain was extreme, I passed out. On waking up, niko kwa ambulance, wana rush. So, kwa ambulance nasikia wakisema, tupeleke Coast General. So in my head, I'm like, Brenda died at Coast General. No. So I'm like, see Coast General.
No.
Which hospital? So I'm like, Mombasa Hospital. So by then, Mombasa Hospital, 2011 Mombasa Hospital was like premier.
Yeah.
So wakisikia Mombasa Hospital, I remember ilikuwa ni St. John's ambulance, wameangaliana like, Mombasa Hospital. So even one of them asked, are you sure? Mombasa Hospital. So like, okay, who can we call? Can we call your parents?